Mary's Children's Hospital closed in 1978 due to an unknown outbreak, an illness that only affected children aged 7 to 12. Symptoms: high fever and speaking in a language that didn't exist. Doctors called it delirium fever, but nurses reported the children, in unison and the same tone, would say the same things. "He comes from the third window. See him." There was no third window in the rooms. On the final night, night shift nurse Helen Carter wrote in her log, "The children suddenly fell silent, all stared toward the corridor window and said, 'He is here now.' Then they simultaneously fell into a deep sleep. In the morning, 12 of the 30 children were comatose. The rest had recovered, but had completely lost all memory of that night. The hospital was sealed. In 2009, a renovation team planned to convert it into apartments. On the second day, workers found a hidden room behind the ground floor kitchen wall. It wasn't on any blueprints or records. Inside, a wooden table, a chair, and on the table, 37 handcrafted wooden dolls, each with a number written on it, from 1 to 37. But dolls number 13, 27, and 34 were missing. That same night, the foreman called in a panicked report. A lantern light was seen in a third-floor window of the empty building. When police entered, they found the impossible. In a room empty for years, 3 children's hospital beds were pushed together. On each bed lay one of the missing dolls, and the room's window was the third window from the left in the corridor. The investigation turned to the past. In local archives, a 1977 letter from a social worker was found, warning that a child from the neighboring orphanage claimed Mr. Cheerful visited him every night to teach him a new language. That child was one of the 3 who fell into a coma on the final night. Police found an old witness, the retired hospital janitor. On his deathbed, he confessed, "We lied. It wasn't an illness. The children were seeing something we couldn't see." The chief physician, Dr. Harlan, was testing an unauthorized treatment on them. He thought he could close their ability to see it, but the treatment had the opposite effect on 3 children. It didn't close, it stayed open, permanently. We took those 3 to a room in the attic. Dr. Harlan said they weren't there anymore, just empty shells. But some nights I heard the sound of counting in that language from behind the door. Police searched for Dr. Harlan. He had died in a mental institution 10 years prior, but among his personal effects was an encoded notebook. When deciphered, it held only one line. "They are the gates. 3 gates remain open. Who comes from the other side?" Today, the St. Mary's building still stands empty, but ghost hunters and the curious report that if you pass by at 3:15 a.m., the 1978 nursing shift change time, you can see small shadows behind the third window on the 3rd floor. And if you are very, very quiet, you can hear a hushed voice counting 34, 35, 36. And some say if you glance into that 3rd window, what you see is not you. It's your own reflection, but with eyes completely black, and it is looking back at you from the other side of the glass. Perhaps Dr. Harlan's treatment worked. Perhaps he really did close the ability to see, but not in the children, in us. He drew the veil, and now those 3 children, those 3 open gates, are the only ones who can see the other side of that veil. They are the guardians of a boundary, but every guardian grows tired. And what if one day one of those gates decides not to guard, but to invite?